Welcome to the podcast, Kill Complacency. Here we inspire intentional living by motivating others to handle hard better. And here's your host, Marty Hofmann.
Hey guys, thanks for joining the podcast. Today I wanted to kind of do a little rewind. I actually recorded this podcast a couple months ago, and it's really about my journey and how I got started. A friend of mine named Brady Sampson interviewed me for this, and we just kind of talked about what I was like when I was 25 years old, how as a youth pastor, and how I really used that to get my start in real estate. Talking about my first house I bought and stuff like that. So good stuff. Really just trying to lay it out there to live intentionally and make things happen. So remember, make it happen, kill complacency, live intentionally.
Hi, Marty.
Hey, Brady, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Thanks
I'm
for
excited
doing
to be
this.
here. Yeah. All right. So Marty has been a part of over 80 real estate transactions in the last 5 years. He's a father to 6 beautiful kids and a husband for over 20 years. And so, Marty, it's my understanding that you started as a youth pastor in Montana. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Sure. So I went to college in Wyoming, a little Bible college. Met
Okay.
my wife there, and we basically finished college, honeymooned our way to, got married, honeymooned our way to Montana, and we got there and went after our first crucial need, which was shelter,
Mm-hmm.
and had a hard time finding a place to rent. And as a result, we ended up going to a local banker. His name was Lyle. And because we knew he had investment properties, and so we thought maybe he'd have something to rent.
Okay.
And he told me something that I've never forgot, and I think it's good advice for anyone and everyone today, and that was that he said, Marty, why would you rent when you can buy for cheaper? We didn't heed his advice. I mean, we went out and rented a house, but I did think about that, and he didn't give me numbers or anything, but rent was $275 a month at the time. It wasn't a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But if you could buy cheaper than you can rent for, you can buy an asset. Why wouldn't you do that? So, but fast forward, I was a youth pastor there in Malta for about 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
Had 4 kids there, and it was a lot of fun. But yeah, that was kind of how I started, was as a youth pastor.
Yeah.
There.
And so what was kind of that flip that switched in you and that made you jump from rental properties to actually buying your first house? Can you tell me kind of what that first deal was like for you?
Yeah. So, I mean, essentially what happened is we were renting,
Mm-hmm.
and we thought we were in control of our situation, as tenants often do. But the landlord came to us and said, hey, we're going to sell your house.
Oh, wow.
And so we were needing to find somewhere to live, and
Yeah.
there was a house in town someone in our church knew about, and it was for sale. It was off market, and I used to be, and I still can be, pretty insecure, but like if I was going to order pizza on a Friday night, I would write out my script. They're going to say this, I'm going to say this, I'm going to order pepperoni, blah, 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 blah. And my wife would laugh at me. If we were having company over, I would write out a conversation. I just wanted to be prepared.
Yeah.
And so in this situation, I wrote this conversation because it was a phone conversation. I called them up. They were in Arizona. And I said, hey, I want to buy your house. I think I offered them $15,000. They were asking $18,000, which was big for me. I was asking for a discount.
Yeah.
And they said yes. We must have signed a contract, but I don't remember any of that. I remember I took it into Lyle the next day. He was just a local bank. It was a one bank.
Yeah.
It wasn't a chain or anything. And I said, hey, Lyle, I'm buying this house. And he said, well, that's great. Well, how do you want to do it? And I just got our tax return back.
Okay.
So I had some down payment.
Right.
And put $4,000 down on the $15,000 note. So our note was for $11,000.
Mm-hmm.
We went away for 2 weeks, came back. The title had done all the work. We closed the deal. Lyle gave us the money, and we had our first house.
Yeah.
So,
And so how did that make you feel? Like, were you sitting there thinking, well, this is way easier than I thought it was? And how did that lead to your next deal?
yeah, so it definitely was way easier than I thought. And like I kind of indicated, I was scared to death. I didn't know what I was getting into. I didn't know. I mean, I knew I was handy and I knew I wanted to do it. And that's what I have to say, I guess, too. I need to add. We bought a value add property.
Mm-hmm.
It needed paint, it needed carpet, it needed some TLC.
Sweat equity.
Yeah, sweat equity. So we bought it, we did some work, and we lived there. And yeah, it was really empowering to know that instead of paying, and I must add, my mortgage payment was $218 a month on a 4-year note.
Yeah.
We were raised very in the Dave Ramsey circle.
Mm-hmm.
So we were debt free with college and stuff. So we were pursuing to be debt free. So we actually paid that note off in 2 years. But yeah, it was really empowering to know we had an asset that was worth more than we'd paid for it, and we didn't have to pay rent every month.
Yeah.
So kind of from there we moved. You ever played the game Bigger or Better? Have you ever heard of that?
I haven't. Tell me about it.
So Bigger and Better, it's probably a youth pastor game.
Okay.
But you start with a penny and you send teams of kids out into the streets and you say, you guys are all starting with a penny. You're going to go door to door and you're going to ask if anyone has something bigger or better.
That is awesome.
Yeah. And I mean, we've played at one time where it can be anything.
Yeah.
So if an old toilet is bigger than a penny, guess what you get to carry to the next house? An old toilet.
A toilet.
And maybe it's a tire. Maybe it's a couch. I mean, it was kind of fun. But we kind of did that with real estate. So we bought this little 2-bedroom, 1-bath house, maybe like 900 square feet. And we lived in it. We were debt free. But there was a house in the country, real close to town and on acreage. It needed some TLC.
Uh-huh.
And so we bought it. And so we went from we sold our other house for 15. We sold it for like 28,000. So we were pretty happy.
Yeah.
We were like 25, 26 years old. We doubled our money.
Yeah.
But we took all that money and put it down on the next house. And it needed TLC. We did a bunch of work to it. We lived there, I think, 3-4 years. Something else I would like to add here is interest rates were like 7.5.
Wow.
And it was just the standard at the time. This was 2005, 2006.
Mm-hmm.
We bought the second house 2008, I think. And it was, I got the note through Wells Fargo. It was 7.25. And we were just happy, we had to pay a mortgage again,
Mm-hmm.
but we had 3 acres, we had outbuildings, and we had a house. We lived in it for 3 years. We turned and sold that. And we were in Montana where, the Great Recession, it didn't affect it.
Yeah.
The thing that affects that up there was the beef market.
Okay.
It's all ranchers.
Okay.
So as long as the beef market was good, everybody was
Life
good.
is good.
But we sold that in 2010, which would be really where a lot of people would say the bottom was. But we sold it for $105,000. So we we bought it for $65,000. So we almost doubled our money again.
Yeah.
And it was just the whole sweat equity, buying an asset, putting money into it, and living there and selling.
Yeah, I really love the bigger and better ideology. So you had no intention of becoming this real estate investor, and you're in there, you're putting in the work, and you go house to house, and you just keep leveling up. And next thing you know, you go from being a youth pastor in Montana, and now here today, you're a real estate millionaire.
Mm-hmm.
That's incredible. That's something worth appreciating, and putting in that sweat equity in everything that you do to get to where you are. And so I think that's great. All right.
One more thing I'd add real quick. Just a lot of people, one major holdup today, I think, is people say they don't have enough money.
Right.
And I mentioned rent was $275 a month. I was on salary, and I was making $1,400-$1,500 per month. Per month. So it was still a good chunk of our paycheck went toward our rent or whatever. So for those people that just think that, they don't make enough.
Yeah. I
mean, I was making $1,500 a month. I was raising 4 kids, and I was on my own for health insurance and all that stuff. This is before Obamacare, but we were on the hook for all that stuff and had to be independent and do it. And we were able to actually save money every month because we were, well, probably because of Dave Ramsey and everything that he had influenced our lives in to live below our means.
Yeah, that personal development, it goes back to mindset. What you were doing while you were in the trenches, you're constantly working on yourself by resourcing people like Dave Ramsey.
Yeah.
And so I'm sure that helped a lot. Now, looking back, would you change anything about your first deal? Are there things that you would do different?
Honestly, I wouldn't change anything on the first deal or the second deal or probably the third deal, because they were really big for us at the time.
Yeah.
They were big moves. We were pushing ourselves. We were learning a lot. And I'm sure we could have, 10x'd it to some extent. But in many ways, we were doing all that we thought we could do.
Right.
And it was big. 2012, though, I bought a duplex in Guthrie. And if I could rewind the clock on that one, I would. Because my mindset, which had really gotten to me where I was, of the Dave Ramsey philosophy of stay out of debt,
right?
I should have switched then to more of the Robert Kiyosaki and started viewing investment properties as that, and understanding the velocity of money. And I didn't, and so I bought that duplex. It was a piece of junk, and I rebuilt it, but I did it all myself. And it took 3 years. I mean, I was raising a family.
Yeah.
I was working doing a heat and air job. I was making $12 an hour.
Okay.
And I was starting a shearing business where I shear alpacas on the side.
Wow.
So I was really doing a lot, but I could have done so much more had I went and found a banker.
Yeah.
And said, "Hey, would you help me out on this duplex?" And then I could have found some contractors.
Yeah.
So in regards to looking back at what I could have done better, the first 3 houses, we were living in those houses. They were a dream. I don't know it would have done much different, but that duplex I bought, I would have, if I could start over on that.
Yeah.
I could probably save about 5 years of my life.
Wow. Yeah. And so why don't you think that more people invest in real estate? Do you think that's only because they feel like they don't have enough money? I mean, what's the real core issue there? Do you have any insight to that?
Well, to be quite blunt, I think that we've raised a culture of sissies.
Okay. Tell me more.
People who don't want to lean into the hard.
Okay.
As parents, we've pacified our kids, and we've given them, now the way parents pacify their kids is with devices.
Yeah. And
they say, "Here, put this, watch your stupid show, play your video game, whatever. Just be quiet and leave me alone." But what we've done, in without meaning to, is we've raised a culture of sissies. And maybe sissies is not very nice, but people that don't want to lean into the hard. They don't want to do the hard thing. They don't want to make the phone call. They don't want to see if somebody has something they want to sell or be creative. That's the other thing we're missing out about in regards to screen time and using that as a pacifier is people today are no longer developing their brains like they could to be more creative. And they just think that you have to buy a house in this box and it has to be done in this way, so forth, so on. But there's lots of ways to structure deals.
Yeah.
And there's lots of opportunities. The first deal I did, I used a bank. I used a local bank. I used my own down payment, but you don't have to do that. You can use friends and family's money. You can get a hard money loan. You can do sub 2, and I could get into all this more.
Right. Yeah.
But there's lots of creative ways. We locked up a house last week whether people are going to own or carry it at
Okay.
5% on a 15-year note. And they brought it up. I didn't have to bring it up. Would you be interested in owner carrying? But
Yeah.
with interest rates 8-9%, the guy said, hey, I'll sell it for you at this price under these terms. And we said, where do we sign?
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be that complicated. But as a culture, we've raised a bunch of people who don't want to lean into the hard.
Yeah.
And as a result, I guess part of my concern moving forward is that we are going to be a renter nation, meaning people's house that becomes their asset when it's paid for later in life, they will not have. And we'll become a renter nation where Wall Street or these big time investors own everything.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that also ties into, hard times create strong men, and, easy times create weak men. And we have essentially created easy times, and access to information is so easy. We've removed a lot of that hard out with the convenience of technology.
Yeah.
We need something. We look to YouTube, we look to Google, and in 0.3 seconds, we have an answer to all of our problems. So it takes away that, that primal instinct of hunting for information, for shelter, for relationships. It takes all that away. So now that's, I think that's why you're here. I mean, to kind of reinstill some of that, that hunter-gatherer mindset in people and relate that back to real estate. Because, whenever we're looking for shelter, we need to get back to that. We need to go out and do the hard things and actually, develop our personal. So I relate to that.
The thing too about doing the hard thing is once you do the hard thing, then it becomes easier.
Yeah.
And then you can lean into the next hard thing. And then that becomes easier. And these goals or ambitions that you have that seem way too hard to reach and attain can suddenly become attainable because you did the hard thing, and then you did the hard thing, and you did the hard thing. So that would be something I would say to the listeners is lean into the hard and don't be afraid to do what is difficult and that is stretching, because it will take you places that nothing else can.
Yeah. And take baby steps, join us at REI Mindset. I mean, these little things, just get out there, just put your foot in the door, break it down into these little steps that you do, and you can make it so much more manageable.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's one piece of advice that you would have for somebody that is wanting to invest in real estate, maybe today, in the next 6 months, in the next year? What's one solid piece of advice that you'd give?
The one piece of advice I would just say quite simply is just do it. You need to. There's tremendous opportunity. I don't know if you guys know this, but real estate if you Google this, and I can't cite the resources where I did this. I did this about 3 months ago. From 1940, I wrote 1940, 1950, whatever, every 10 years on a piece of paper. Next to that, I wrote medium house price. Next to that, I wrote rent. And next to that, I wrote what the dollar has done.
Yeah.
When you do that, from 1940 to 2020, you'll see that rents double every 20 years. Okay? So if you're paying $1,000 a month for rent now, in 20 years, it's going to be $2,000.
Yeah.
But home values triple. So you have a house, its value triples, rents double. If you continue to stay as a renter for 20 years, your rents are going to go up, but the value of that home is going to triple. 20 years, most landlords are going to have that note paid off.
Yeah.
So take that basic understanding, and you can find this on Google. You can look at what houses sold for on Zillow 10 years ago, and you can see the numbers. It's quite obvious. It's out there. But take that information and do something with it. Go out and find a house to buy. Don't be, we a lot of times we don't like interest rates because we're comparing it to 2 years ago, 3 years ago. But if you compare it to 10 years ago and 20 years ago and 30 years ago, interest rates are great right now.
Yeah.
10 years ago, this is about normal. So
Mhm.
just get out there and do it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I love breaking it down and just seeing that information. And I think this is awesome because so whenever I met Marty, I actually went to go look at one of his houses and possibly rent it. And I love this story because, you know, his property manager was out with some personal issues. And so he came and actually showed us the house. And I walked through the door and I see a 10X hat. And I'm like, yo, nice hat. And next thing you know, we're talking for an hour and a half about everything but the house. And so Marty actually showed me that. He showed me his list, his math that he did to explain to me why I shouldn't rent his house. And I think that speaks a lot to his character and a lot to what, you know, he's doing here and really caring about people's mindset and shifting that and making sure that, you know, Wall Street doesn't own all of our houses and that we don't become a renter nation. And so I think that's awesome that you brought that up.
Yeah.
So yeah, where can the people find you? The people that are listening to this and you're interested, you think this is something that, you know, it's time to get serious about this. Where should they find you?
So there'll be some show notes below this, but I'm on Instagram, Marty Hoff 7373, I think, and I've got a YouTube channel.
Okay.
And my daughter runs all that stuff, so I just kind of do what she does.
Yeah.
And then she handles it from there. I've got a Facebook page, but you can find me.
Yeah.
If you want to see the shearing business I have, you could Google Marty Hofmann shearing, and you can see videos of me shearing alpacas. That's a whole nother story.
That's a whole nother story.
But lots of opportunity.
Yeah.
So,
and then the event, when is it?
Yeah, so we just started an event really because of this. Really for our desire. So, little side note, Wall Street bought 1 in 7 houses in 2022.
Wow.
Wall Street meaning these big funds that come in that people invest in.
Yeah.
You know, you give your money to this REIT, this real estate investment trust, and they take your money and then they go buy houses. 1 in 7 houses were purchased through them last year.
Mm-hmm.
But they say by 2030 that Wall Street, Wall Street will own 40% of houses in America.
Yeah.
And so that's part of the concern is, and part of the desire in doing this is to even just empower mom and pop landlords.
Yeah.
To go out and lean into it and buy houses so that we can all do our part so that we are not controlled by Wall Street someday.
Yeah.
And so, we started this REI mindset because I believe it's so crucial to anything you do, but specifically investing in real estate, to have that mindset shift. So we started this where we just meet, we learn a little bit about the subject of real estate or mindset, and then we have networking and just time of encouraging each other and finding out what people are doing, what's working, what isn't working. But that meets on the 4th Tuesday of every month. It's in OKC. We have ambitions and dreams of making it a national brand, creating a curriculum around it. We're not there yet.
Right.
But that would be a desire that we would have to create a movement of a mindset shift to get people started into this.
It's much needed.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys for listening and have a great day.
Hey, just wanted to thank you guys for listening to the end. In closing, I just wanted to add that if this message resonates with you, if it aligns with your values, and something in it today triggered something, then you can also look me up on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube. We are really trying to help people live more intentional lives to kill the complacency with which they have subscribed to. I know there's many ways which I get sucked in all the time. So if this is beneficial, follow me there, spread the message, share,
And if you want to wear a billboard of a message of kill complacency or live intentionally, then check out my merch store in show notes as well. But it's www.mindsetshop.com. Mindset is with an X, so it's MINDXET shop, SHOP.com, mindsetshop.com. Check it out. Thank you guys so much, and have a great one.
Thank you for listening to Kill Complacency. Follow and share our podcast to change lives and inspire growth.